What is up, Guardian Tales YouTube? I'm Gacha J. This is your home for Gacha news, analysis, and reviews, especially for Guardian Tales. Today we are taking a look at Archangel Gabriel and if she's even worth pulling or not. Is she good? We'll find out. Let's go. Gabriel is the newest 3-star healer. The only other one we have so far is Mia, and Mia is very much changing the way that the game is perceived. If anything, I had a very awesome conversation with Kyra Mobile, which I hope to release another video about soon, about the power creep in this game and exactly the direction that the game is heading. I think that Gabriel's going to play a significant role in that as we move closer to an elemental type of game, unfortunately. But let's take a look here specifically at Gabriel. So Gabriel is a bow user. She is one of the first archangels and archdemons that we are going to be released in the game. There are a bunch of leaks out there related to this. Her party skill is going to be the first thing that jumps out at you with the crit hit chance of 30%, which is massive. And every single thing in her kit is absolutely stupefying for how much it brings to the table. So let's take a look at just her basic attack. She flicks a bow and shoots out a sound wave, reducing light type resistance by 20% for 3 seconds for enemy hit by the last attack. That is absolutely gigantic. Resistance is a huge part of this game. 20% is a nice shred, and for 3 seconds is pretty big. Considering she attacks very, very quickly. Her entire bow animation cycle is about 5 seconds. So 3 seconds of that, she's getting a significant boost, which means that each time she goes through her chamber, it's going to reset and slowly increase the damage output. That's very hard to calculate in this. So where she falls in the actual ranking of might, she actually could push out a little bit more DPS depending on how you decide to set her up. And her chain skill also brings a little bit of things to the table. It strikes Holy Lightning to inflict 300% of DPS, restores all party members HP by 30% of heal, and removes all negative effects. So the 30% of heal is actually not the best of things. Her base heal is about 14-15 when you include all awakening stones. If you throw in her other abilities, it's about closer to 3,000. So 30% of that's about 1,000, which, I mean, it's good, but it's not great. I mean, her HP is at 21,000. Ogma's can get up to 50,000, I believe, off the top of my head. So 1,000 really doesn't do a lot there. So you're looking at that healing everywhere else, right? But that's where it's at. We will be finding it elsewhere. Like, let's look at her special ability. On sound of Heaven's Hit, which is her auto attack, restores HP of the party member with the lowest HP by 30% of heal and increases their attack by 30% for 5 seconds. Activates once every 5 seconds. So this is actually really, really powerful, not just because of what it does in a team composition for Coliseum in PvE, but also because she's always going to be the lowest health person on her team in something like Arena. So this is a flat 30% attack buff because, as I already mentioned, her entire magazine cycle is about 5 seconds. So it's activating every 5 seconds, it lasts for 5 seconds, and it gives her a 30% increase, which just means that she gets 30% increased attack stats on top of her. This lady is insane with all the different modifiers that get thrown into her. But let's jump right off of this right here and let's jump into her exclusive weapon. So her exclusive weapon is called Magnificat. I was hoping to see more cats here based off of what it was, the description of it, but I'm happy with what we have so far. So the DPS at about 2,900 is pretty strong. A light attack at a 1,381, which is very important for the future of the game, I believe, for that light attack to be there. Being the light means she automatically gets a really serious advantage against the two big terrors in the game, which is Ogma and Beth. Her bow brings a heal to the table of 921, a crit chance of 5%, healing of 20% extra, which is huge, by the way. Weapon skill regen speed 18%, HP at 18%. And guys, I want to point out that that heal of 20% is to her base heal statistics. So when it comes back through and it says 30% of heal, this 20% factors in before that 30%. It's not taking that 30% and making it 50%. It's taking that like 921 number that we see there and giving it 20% of that, and her base heal and giving it 20% of that, but still very, very strong. On sound of hit, which is her auto attack again, inflicts 30% of DPS every 2 seconds and immediately reduces light type resistance. Restores party members' HP in the sanctuary by 100% of heal. That is absolutely stupendous, guys. So everything in her skill information, which is a big circle that pushes forward. If she's at the back and it pushes forward, everybody in that is going to be getting 100%, not the 30%, the 100% of her heal. That is stupefying amount of healing. The only problem is that it's not the entirety of the map. In Coliseum and PvE, it is hard to keep the people in front of you, but for the things like this collab of you getting to work with other people, these co-op modes, oh my gosh, this is going to be very, very important. I can really see Gabriel playing a huge role in the future of co-op meta. So not only is she getting a 30% in arena, she's getting another 30% from her bow herself. And so though all of her statistics show that she should be close to average, when we factor it all together, she is stupefyingly strong. Okay, let's get into that now. Overall, she has a might of 14,186, which brings her in at 13th overall as a healer. What? That is crazy to me, guys. She is stronger than Grigas, Coco, Karina, Sohi, Amy, Mia, Vishuvak, Rue, Lupina, Bianca. Do I need to keep going? When you factor in everything together, Gabriel is an absolute monster. She is about 900 away from being as strong as Eugene in terms of offensive output, and she gets to heal. So where is the downside? It is obviously in her defensive statistics. She has a tank of 93,270, guys. That puts her at 29th overall. Not the most encouraging when it comes to defensive statistics. So you really got to keep her in check. You really do want to be using her as the pilot if you can get away with it, or you need to be watching out for that sanctuary skill the best possible, which means you have to be autoing her. Coming into this video, I really thought that she was a very strong pairing with Future Princess, because Future Princess has a moderate heal and Gabriel has a stronger heal, but not a dedicated heal like a Sohi or like Mia. But knowing that we really want to be piloting both Gabriel and Future Princess kind of changes how you outlook. Losing that stun on the Liberator is a huge deal when it comes to Coliseum. Maybe it would take some tinkering for you to know which way you prefer. I think at the topper end of the meta, you're going to see Gabriel as a team skiller because that sanctuary is so strong if you can keep everybody in front of you. But without it, I think that she does play the role of a good secondary healer. And if you're having a tanky team, it's enough. And she's doing enough DPS to where you don't truly have to worry about other options. So when I think about Gabriel, I'm thinking of a really strong Monolight team. And when I say that, I am thinking of something a little bit different than what many people may be looking at. I'm thinking the best Monolight team that you can put together right now on the surface is Gabriel, Eugene, Sohi, and Aisha. I think that that offers you a ton of both DPS, tankiness, and utility. Sadly for Future Princess, that does push her out, but because of how important that stun is on the Liberator and how clutch I think Gabriel's Sanctuary skill is, I think that might push her out. But I think pairing the two together is still very strong for those of you that are invested in your Future Princess and not your Eugene's. If you even have Eugene, sad boy me, don't have Eugene, would love to have her. Overall, I am very encouraged by Gabriel. I wanted to clue in a little bit of what the end game was currently thinking about it. So I contacted my friend Kyra Mobile, who you might have seen from other videos of ours. And this is what he had to say.
Big thing for me when I see her is healing is such a big deal now in-game when it comes to raiding. The current raids with Portrait Lady and then the Ancient Demon, they're really hard encounters. People could get one shot very consistently. You really want to have a healer. Most teams have a healer on them unless you're trying to cheese them. Like there's certain ways you can trick the bosses into just not attacking. But for the most part, especially on the Portrait Lady, you absolutely need healing, or you're just going to get killed. Even fully max limit broken characters get killed. So not only having a healer, but a light healer is going to be really useful, especially in a dark room like that. And the reason why I feel like raiding is worth talking about, even I think for the majority of players, raiding is kind of like an afterthought. The things that people are going to care about are arena and Coliseum. So I figured probably should start with that. Whereas with, I think she's going to be a more, I guess for arena, I've seen that she's done well in top 100 Korean server. There's a guy that's been using he does content that I've seen him. He does pretty well. She seems to do good damage to counters. The meta currently is a very dark heavy meta in Ogma and Beth. I think she does well there. She has the 30% crit rate buff, which is going to be useful for other characters in your team. I think that's like, for example, the only other healer that would be viable is Maya. I really don't like that 80% special attack bonus. I prefer pretty almost any other passive to that. So I think her having the 30% crit rate is really nice, and she has good typing for this current meta. I don't think she's going to be a top arena choice for sure. If you're looking for a top arena choice, she's just not worth it in my opinion. For Coliseum, I think she's going to be probably pretty good, but being just a light healer, still probably not going to be top meta character when it comes to Coliseum, but still a very solid choice, kind of like Maya is at the moment. Very solid choice, maybe not like the absolute top of the meta, but still a very good character for Coliseum. But just in general, what I'm seeing is in this game, healers I think they're going to scale incredibly well, especially these 3-star healers. They're going to be, I think they're always going to be useful. And as they introduce harder and harder content, potentially, we don't know, but potentially, I think healers are going to be a big part of being able to clear that future content. So they're useful now, probably going to be very useful in the future too, as harder content gets released. So I think it's a very safe choice to pick a healer to be worth pulling for.
Now, if we want to look at her weapon animation specific, I've already mentioned to you that it has that 5-second attack cycle. You're getting about 4 ticks worth of damage each time the bow clicks. And it's doing about a 0.462 modifier before the exclusive weapon kicks in, which brings her entire cycle to about 1848 of her light attack every time it pushes through, which is very, very strong overall. But when it breaks down to a multiple per second, it's actually fairly weak. The saving grace in Gabriel's kit has nothing to do with her animations. Even though her animations look very strong on the surface because of how fast they attack, they're actually relatively weak. I want to say a great big thank you to Panda for sending me this footage from the Korean server. It blows my mind the amount of love that the Korean server gave me when I reached out to them. So thank you, Panda. Overall, guys, I think Gabriel is a very, very strong unit to own. I think the common consensus is going to be she's not a must own, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the assumption that the game is progressing in the way that I imagine. So we're getting elemental priorities and healing priorities when it comes to raid bosses and in games, as Kyra Mobile already mentioned to us. I think overall, with the way that sustain is working in the game, and we don't really have any good options for reducing healing yet, I think Gabriel is in the must own category for season 2. Now, that obviously comes with some caveats. I think that you will always find a place for Gabriel because she is a light healer. I think it is worth owning both Mia and Gabriel specifically for that mono class typing when it comes to all these different dungeons and opportunities they're giving us for these typing advantages. So overall, if you have Gabriel, great. If you didn't get her, you may want to consider finding a way to get her. I don't think that she's going to break the meta in any capacity. I think in an arena, she's very strong into the dark units. But past that, guys, I think she is overall just a very, very strong healer and really fits in the direction that the Cacao Group and the developers are really looking to push this game. And I think that she's a very strong indicator of the future to come. All right, guys, I'm Gacha J. This is your home for Gacha news, analysis, and reviews. Peace.